They worked
Get
until
out!
their lungs
We have to
failed.
move!
Children were forced underground.
This way,
All
boys!
for one billionaire's wealth. But when a boy
You
lost
can't
his
do
father,
this!
the
Get
village
down
made a
now!
decision that changed everything. If you ever believed in unity and the quiet strength of ordinary people, take a moment to like and subscribe. Stories like this remind us how one small act can change everything. The explosion came before sunrise. Not loud, just deep, like the earth groaning. Dust rolled across Blackridge Village like a brown storm, covering huts, crops, children, and prayers. 14-year-old Tari dropped his bucket of water. "Papa!" he screamed. Men burst from their mud houses coughing, faces already dark with coal soot, the same soot that never left their lungs, their clothes, or their lives. From the hills above them, the coal pit roared back to life, and standing on the edge of it, in a spotless white suit that would never touch dirt, was a man who owned everything. Billionaire Victor Halstrom, the man who owned the mine, the land, the water rights, and, in many ways, their suffering. Every morning, Blackridge Village woke to the sound of digging, pickaxes striking stone, men descending into pits so deep sunlight barely touched the bottom, children hauling heavy sacks of coal bigger than their bodies, women washing dust out of wounds that never healed, all for wages that couldn't buy bread for a week. And anyone who complained, they disappeared. Tari's father, Jonah, coughed violently as he tied a rag over his mouth. "Papa, don't go today," Tari begged. "Your chest is bleeding again." Jonah forced a smile. "If I don't go, they'll cut our food ration." "You're dying." Jonah knelt and held his son's face with trembling hands. "We're already dying, my boy." Slowly. A horn blasted from a mine. Workers were being summoned like cattle. Jonah stood. "Take care of your mother." Tari watched him walk away, into the pit that had swallowed half the men in the village. Up on the ridge, Victor Halstrom sipped coffee from a gold-rimmed cup. His assistant, Mr. Crane, held a tablet. "Sir, productivity is up 15% this quarter." Victor smiled. "Good. Fear is an excellent motivator." Crane hesitated. "There were injuries this morning." Victor shrugged. "There are always injuries." 2 men collapsed in shaft 3. Victor didn't even look. "Replace them." Crane swallowed. "They're human beings, sir." Victor finally turned. Cold eyes. "Their labor." Silence fell. "Do not confuse the two." Down in shaft 3, Jonah collapsed into the coal dust. His lungs burned like fire. Blood soaked the rag over his mouth. "Tari," he whispered. The other miners panicked. "He can't breathe." Call for help. But they all knew. Help never came. The company guard stood above, watching. One guard leaned down. "If he can't work, drag him aside." "He's dying." The guard's voice hardened. "Then let him die somewhere else." Jonah's body was pulled like broken equipment and left near the waste pit. No doctor, no ambulance, no dignity. Tari ran when he heard the shouting. He pushed through miners. "Papa." Jonah lay, barely breathing. Coal dust covered his face like a burial cloth. "Papa, please don't leave me." Jonah's eyes fluttered open. "My son, I'll work harder. I'll carry more coal. Just stay." Jonah smiled weakly. "They already took everything from us, except our voices." A violent cough shook him. "Promise me something." "Yes, Papa. Anything. Don't stay silent like I did." His chest stopped rising. The mine roared. Life moved on. But Jonah was gone. That evening, Blackridge gathered for burial. No coffin, just cloth. Women wept. Children stared in confusion. Another father lost. Another body claimed by coal. Old man Elias, the village elder, spoke quietly. "How many more must die?" No one answered. Fear sat heavy. Then Tari stepped forward. Tears streaked clean lines through coal dust on his face. "They killed my father." Murmurs spread. "They work us until we die," Tari cried. "They take our land, our water, our lives." A guard's truck rolled by slowly. The crowd fell silent. Elias grabbed Tari. "Lower your voice, boy." Tari shook free. "If we don't speak, we'll all end up in the ground like him." A slap cracked across Tari's face. A guard. Shut up. The village froze. Victor Hallstrom watched from his luxury jeep nearby. Amused. Let the boy cry, Victor said lazily. Grief passes. Tari stared at him with burning hatred. My father died for your money. Victor leaned down to Tari's level. And you'll live for it. Then he smiled, a smile without warmth. That night, Tari couldn't sleep. He listened to coughing from huts, to mothers sobbing, to the mine chewing into the earth. And something changed inside him. Fear cracked, anger rose, and courage was born, because the ground beneath Blackridge was rich with coal, but richer with blood. And soon, the village would decide they had paid enough. The next morning, the mine gates closed earlier than usual, not to arrest the workers, to punish them. Victor Hallstrom stood on a raised platform, guards with rifles behind him. The village gathered below, tired faces, coughing lungs, hungry children. Victor's voice echoed. Productivity dropped yesterday. Murmurs spread. Because a man died, someone whispered. Victor smiled thinly. Deaths happen. Work must continue. He lifted a clipboard. From today onward, food rations will be cut in half. Cries erupted. Our children will starve. Victor raised a hand. Anyone who refuses to work loses everything. Silence followed, the kind born from terror. Then Tari stepped forward. My father worked until his lungs collapsed, he said loudly. You still weren't satisfied. A guard shoved him hard. Victor chuckled. Bold boy, you murder us slowly. The crowd gasped. Victor leaned closer. Careful. Courage is expensive here. He nodded. Two guards dragged forward a weak miner. Samuel. He spoke against me last night. Samuel shook. Please, I have children. Victor turned to crowd. This is what disobedience earns. A gunshot echoed. Samuel dropped dead. Women screamed. Blood soaked the dirt. Victor's voice remained calm. Back to work. Something snapped inside the village. Not fear. Resolve. That night, in the thick forest beyond the river, figures gathered quietly. Tari, Elias, women, miners, children old enough to understand suffering. We can't live like animals, Elias whispered. They'll kill us all, a woman cried. They already are, Tari replied. Silence fell. Then a miner named Kobe spoke. There's an old tunnel under the East Ridge. It connects to the storage yard. Eyes widened. That's where they keep the coal shipments. And the explosives, Kobe added. A plan began to form. Not of violence, of power. If we stop the mine, Tari said, voice steady, he loses everything. Hope flickered like fire in darkness. Over the next days, Victor tightened control. Children as young as 10 were forced underground. Guards whipped slow workers. Water wells were locked. People collapsed daily. But in secret, the village prepared. They mapped tunnels, moved tools, shared food. Strength grew where fear once lived. One night, thunder masked their movement. Tari led a group through the forgotten tunnel. Their hearts pounded. They emerged beneath the storage yard. Coal towers rose like mountains of suffering. Explosives lay stacked nearby. Don't light them, Elias warned. Just block the shafts. They worked fast. Rock slides were triggered. Support beams removed. By dawn, the mine was sealed. Sirens screamed. Guards ran. Victor stormed out in fury. Open it. But the earth had swallowed his empire. For the first time, the billionaire was powerless. Victor exploded with rage. Find who did this. Guards stormed the village. Homes were kicked in. Men beaten. Women dragged outside. Tari was caught, thrown before Victor. You did this, didn't you? Tari wiped blood from his mouth. We all did. Victor laughed darkly. You think you've won? He raised his gun. I can erase this village in a day. But before he could fire, sirens wailed from the highway. Government trucks rolled in. Reporters, police, inspectors. Victor froze. What is this? Elias stepped forward, holding a phone. "We sent videos," he said calmly, "of the mines, the beatings, the dead bodies." Journalists rushed. Cameras flashed. "Mr. Hallstrom, is it true children are forced to work underground? Are these workers dying without medical aid?" Victor stuttered. "This is private property." A government official approached. "Not anymore." He handed Victor a document. "Your operations are suspended pending investigation." Handcuffs clicked. Gasps rippled. Victor shouted, "You can't do this. I own everything." The official replied, "You forgot one thing. You don't own people." Victor was dragged away as the village watched. The king of coal had fallen. Weeks later, the mine remained closed. Medical teams treated sick workers. Food trucks arrived. Children returned to school tents set up by aid groups. The air felt lighter. Jonah's grave was now surrounded by flowers. Tari knelt. "We did it, Papa." Elias joined him. "You gave us courage." News spread across the country. The billionaire was charged with forced labor, human rights abuse, illegal land seizure, worker deaths. His fortune was frozen. The land was returned to the people. One evening, the village gathered around a fire. "We were afraid for so long," a woman said, "but our fear fed him." Kobe nodded. "The day we stood together, he lost everything." Tari stood. "My father said it took everything except our voices." He looked around. They were wrong. They never took our strength. Cheers rose. Tears flowed. Hope lived. And far away, in a prison cell, Victor stared at coal-stained hands. The same coal that built his empire had buried it. When the oppressed unite and speak up, even the most powerful tyrant will fall. Silence feeds injustice. Courage destroys it. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.